can't be a narrow-minded conservative and you can't be a narrow-minded liberal. Instead, you've got to allow great fluidity in the text. You've got to acknowledge that a lot of sin is communicated throughout the scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation, and then respond wisely and appropriately to whatever the issue is.
Gotcha.
And the Bible never condones slavery.
Exodus 21:7 says, quote, when a man sells his daughter as a slave, what did she do wrong that is comparable to a prisoner or criminal to deserve that?
Probably what happened was, because most men, fathers, don't sell their daughters. Probably they're facing incredible financial pressure. There's severe debt accumulation, and he is giving his daughter up to an employer who will employ the woman, pay her, put a roof over her head, because he's probably on the brink of starvation and not being able to provide. But if it is referring to a father denigrating his daughter by selling her into chattel slavery, to try and argue from the nature of God as revealed from Genesis to Revelation that is God's will, no way.
If all we're doing is talking about, hey, let's give poor people jobs, I would think that the almighty, all-wise governor of the universe would find a way to convey that message that doesn't include statements like, you shall buy your slaves from the heathen that surround you. And if a man shall sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. You wouldn't set up different rules based on the gender of whoever you're giving a job to. This is a very Pollyannish, anachronistic view by Cliff, in my opinion, of looking at what this actually means without looking at it in the context of history or what the passage literally says.
Well, Matt, I'm so glad to hear you say the context of history. Bravo. Yeah. So go back and study how women were treated at that time.
Yeah.
The sexism was off the charts. Horrendous.
And the Bible sanctioned it.
All right. The Bible doesn't sanction that.
You bet it does. It absolutely does.
The Bible gives instructions and regulations.
Meanwhile, something similar happens in Exodus 21, where if the servant comes, you're supposed to be let go, but you're not going to let his wives go, then he can come forward and say that he loves his master, wants to stay there, and then you drive an awl through their ear to mark them as your property, and he shall be your property forever. This is not indentured servitude, which is, by the way, immoral as well. It just wasn't the topic of conversation tonight. We have done away with indentured servitude. We have done away with debtors' prisons. We've learned a lot since these books were miswritten.
Well, Matt, when you say it's immoral, says who?
Me. And that's all that matters. That's legitimately all that matters, Cliff, because all you're going to say is you think God does it. Well, produce the God and have God say it's immoral and have God defend his case. Because until then, like you said earlier, it's just competing opinions. But I thought that we were in agreement that owning people as property was immoral.